All right, so I'm going to have a father to son talk with my son, Dylan. So we're having an important conversation, and he's got two computers going on because he's like me to an extent. I actually have had the record of 7, and I've broken 4 at one point in time, but that's a different story. But he's good. He's got 2 of them, and he has Moo Moo right here who's licking my toes. Thank you, Moo Moo. So the point came up where he's very observant. He didn't think I thought that he was that observant. So he still tested me to see if I really see him. But he doesn't understand that I see him. So here's an example of me seeing him. I asked him what was he doing. He says, what did you say you were doing?
I am currently working or finishing my PE assignments.
Right. He said he is currently blah, 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 blah. He's 15. I asked him who taught him the word currently, and he said,
You.
And I said, really? And I was like, okay. So is that the way I speak now? And you said,
I don't know.
You said no. Now I went from no to don't know. You see, he tries to work me too. See, so you have to be a very good listener to him as well. So that also goes into a very powerful word that was introduced into his vocabulary today, which was liar. Do I think my son is a liar? No. Do I think that he's sometimes not putting reality together? Yes. So liar in this sense can mean disconnect. But lying also is one of the lowest forms of creation. So that's why I said that today. Because when you do lie, some people don't have a reality on situations. Like you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know. But because I know, and it was a cleaning thing that we were talking about, something as simple as cleaning. And I'm just like, look, you say that you are, I say that you're not, so you're lying to me. And that's fine. That's what you didn't understand. Because if you're creating something, you're asking me a question when I see you lying. It's more like, hey, I have a question. Is what we're doing really on track or is it off? So when I heard you say the word currently, I'm now tying in what happened this morning so that you can understand how my mind really works. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, you wouldn't be able to see this had you not learned what game recently? Chess. I'm going to bring the microphone a lot closer to him. Because I knew once he started playing chess, he would start lying. Here's why. When you're playing chess, anyway, I'll let you explain your wins and your benefits since you've been playing chess. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we have not played one single game together, have we?
No.
We have not played one single game together. And I'm going to tie this into the word currently for a marketing tip that you don't want to miss. So keep going, son.
What am I keep going on?
Your benefits since you've been playing chess.
I am currently seeing the world differently because I am
You're what? You think you just stopped in front of 8 billion people? You got to keep going.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Perfect. See? He's thinking. He's thinking. That's that silence. That's called growth. So for everybody in his age generation at this level, your generation needs to learn how to think. That silence was him thinking. But I didn't want him to overload because I saw his head tilting to the left. So I was like, I don't think so much. But now, what are you thinking about?
How I can do things differently than I was before I started learning chess.
Interesting. So how do you know your life has shifted? Like, what are you seeing that's different now versus before you learned how to play chess?
How impactful the dogs are and how you guys are and how my friends are in my life.
And what did we do about a week ago?
We sat down and had a conversation about me and my friends and about chess.
Yep.
And the dogs.
Yep. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think you did?
In the conversation?
Yep.
7, 6.5.
You aced it. You hit a 10. You will always be a perfect 10 in my life. And this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Children, parents of these type of genius children, lean into what I'm about to say. If you want to break a pattern right now with your kids, here's how you have to explain it to them. I like to use the example of a drawbridge. Every day, we lower the drawbridge. You know what a drawbridge is, right, son?
Yeah.
Okay. So you lower the drawbridge. We go out into the regular world. We go to slay dragons. Okay? So what? We're the knight in shining armor. We're this. We're that person who, we've got to talk to get the people excited about slaying this dragon, right? We play all of these different roles in life, right? And then when we come back across that castle every night victorious and we raise that drawbridge, because there's a moat separating that. You learned about a moat in school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you learned about a moat. So that moat is what protects us. So we can raise that drawbridge up and go to fuck to sleep. That's what you just learned from playing chess. You are not your role in society. The way you've been trained so far reflects a very distinct way of how the machine works. And like I said, we need machines. I love machines. I had the best education ever by going to Chester High School. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be here talking to my son at this level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we had a lot of street credibility for what I'm about to say. This world will train you to think that you're something that you're not. I never said that when we left out that drawbridge and we raised it down to go slay that dragon that day, I didn't say that we couldn't do it as ourselves. So the first time I talked to you about it, it was like, oh, this is the way the world expects you to do it. Now, just like in your age in life right now, 15, I'm sitting here saying, you are not your role in life. And now it's going to make more sense because you've learned how to think like the rest of the world. You learn how to think like the status quo. Yes?
Yeah.
Because none of your friends are helping their dads run a kennel, are they?
No.
Do they even have jobs?
No.
So they don't even have jobs. So already, at a minimum, I'm about 2 years ahead of the other parents your age. Minimum 2 years. So lying and learning and understanding how these words impact us differently. If I would have called you a liar and you were headed to, become an employee, that would have ruined you. You just called me a liar. It's like, I got to get your attention. And I know words are very powerful with you. So I know I have to get your attention. But I'd rather do it with a word that I knew we'd have to talk about later anyway, because you're learning how to play chess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you're learning how to play chess, and ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even physically played one game yet. This is how powerful chess really is. So my challenge to you is, if you're listening to this, then honor your children in their space. Honor the school system and how they teach you. Because you didn't have a problem being an employee, did you?
No.
No, not at all. And did I ever shit on employees?
No.
No. I never have. Because you need everybody to understand that there is a role in society that they can play, provided that they're shown it. So now my son is transitioning from a knowing problem into a doing problem. But the other side of life, he never would have known about until now, right?
Right.
We've never talked about this really. So he's growing. So this is how we're supposed to do it as parents, to say, hey, you know what? I have enough experience to talk to my kids just like this. It doesn't have to be at this crazy ass genius, house of genius level, because all of these kids will work you, including this one, because he's the quietest of them all. That means he's the best listener too. And that's why I love you. I really do. So all I'm just telling you, son, is that like now you have a choice. You know, some people will never have a choice. And to me, that's the importance of really wrapping my arms around you. And we have to be transparent and vulnerable. So I am the moat. I am the person between you as you being perfect as a 10. That's the reasons why you are perfect, because we've never put any limits on you. Common sense is okay because that's an operating system. Okay, so you need a little common sense, and we're still working on that. And your generation needs to work on that too, quite frankly. Because I wasn't joking when I said that we're going to do something that the rest of the world has never done, because they've never seen anybody like you. But I do. I see you. And that's why I said you will always be a perfect 10 in my mind. But I have to play the moat. You know, because when you go out into the outside world, people, they tell you, hey, what's your name and what do you do? What's your name and what do you do? And when you go out there, you're going to hear this. Those are called robots, NPCs in your world. But they need help too. Even if they want to be a robot, that's fine. Make them the best robot that they want to be, because some people just want to be. I don't want to play at the highest levels of the planet like I've done before. I want to play with you. So you'll never know what I know unless you get those kinds of contacts. Period. Mm-hmm. You know? But the good thing about it is that's how life really works. That's why you have to have better contacts. So just like you told the whole 8 billion people, the people who you're hanging out with aren't even at your level. So how much time should you be spending with them?
A little bit of time.
It's up to you. Depends on how you want to save the world. If you know for a fact that you can help them long term, then you don't need to talk to them right now. But if you're trying to save them too, you should be talking more to them, having them have conversations like this with their parents. See, that's what a real leader does. If you're going to spend time with them, then you need to be having them work with you, just like Mom told you the other day, because she told me about that conversation y'all had. Mm-hmm. What was her conversation to you?
That she just wants to make a load of money just to spend casually, and then have my friends work for me minimum wage.
Right. Did you give her a hug and a kiss and thank her for that, Jim?
No, I didn't.
Well, you need to after we're done. Because that's her brilliance. She knows how to put it together in the employee world. I know how to put it together on those higher level worlds. And then we have a team around us who can close gaps because they have their own zones of geniuses. So on Mom's level, yes, employees. On my level, no, we have collaborators. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you saw them the other day in here. We're all working together to do one thing, right? Mm-hmm. And did you see everybody having a good time?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I thought it was cool that 4 brilliant minds can just work on one thing at the same time.
Yeah. Now, you have brilliant minds around you before you're being homeschooled. Now, what's the difference?
The difference with me being homeschooled and not being homeschooled was basically just managing my time with being homeschooled, since I didn't have 8 hours of going to school on my life. Instead, it's just 2 hours and then doing the work they assign. But I can do the work whenever I want, which is what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, were your friends, were they working with you or against you, or they didn't even care? What was your observation?
Well, When I was at school, they were working with me, mainly only because I only hung out around 4 people, 4 including me, I guess. And then at home, I only really talk to 2 now, and they still work with me. So yeah.
Do you miss them?
Yeah. I mean, I still talk to them.
Yeah.
On the phone, but yeah.
So you still have a connection with them?
Yeah.
So do you think, based on the conversations you're having with me and Mom, that we could really help them and their families?
Yeah.
Would you have been able to know this kind of thinking if you would have just stayed with them?
No.
Exactly. So now you have choice. And that's why we told you before, this is how we go from a knowing problem into a doing problem. And again, lying is the lowest form of creation in my world. In an employee world, it can get you hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't want to do stuff like that. So when I'm saying that you're lying, what I'm saying is that you're literally creating space. So the moat expands, but you still have the choice of lowering that drawbridge if you want to, where you can jump in the pool with us in the moat and see how we have to think about both things. Because the moat represents the edge. You know, it's the edge of who you are as a human being, and it represents the edge of how society wants you to be. That's the reason why you go to school the way that you were doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I know that you're very smart, and you did. I had him take an IQ test, last week?
Last week, 2 weeks. I have the picture.
It was about 2 weeks ago. So he's a genius, and I wish somebody would have been talking to me like this when I was 15, because I was looking for these kinds of conversations. Were you looking for these kinds of conversations now that you're having them?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been very bored for a long time.
A week ago.
Huh?
A week ago.
A week ago. It's always predictable that if I'm not constantly challenging him, he's going to get bored. So he got bored of understanding chess about a week ago, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to start playing it more with people out here. I have one of the world's best chess players. He's literally playing 2 chess masters in the world right now. Literally. And he's bored. Right. So I'm going to connect him to the one and only Mr. Joey Lieberman, whose brilliance is just totally stunning. And my message in the bottle is, Joey, this is a fresh mind that has never, ever, ever been compromised by either his family or by society. Your zone of genius is brilliant. Teach him what you know. He has no bad habits. And it's so interesting how you have connected with me at the exact same time that my son was starting to get bored playing chess. So just like you told me, I was able to go into the future and catch you. I was able to go into the future and catch him. And now I am handing you someone who has no bad habits and will learn the most brilliant way of thinking that I can ever see in this planet up until now. I gave Neil Tyson DeGrasse and Tyler, the Creator, a chance to call me, but they didn't. So it's on my Twitter. But legit, though. So I want you to start playing chess with him. I'm going to connect you two. And see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of having contact. You know, I started putting myself out there just after I got off of these planes, helping out some of these mega corporations. And Joey was following me around that time. Then we had the pandemic. And then, like, I coached about 2,200 people up through New Room Collective, and here we are. So now is the time for all of us to continue to make contact. And if you have been in contact with me, then definitely hit me up any way that you can. And either myself or one of the team members want to talk to you like right now. We've got some major stuff going on behind the scenes. That's why Joey's timing is impeccable. That's why everything that I'm doing right now is at a very singular point. And my son is bored again. I'm sorry, son. I have to explain some things to him. How do you feel, though, overall?
Intrigued.
Intrigued! Oh, you know that word is going to hit me differently. See, look, this is what we did with him. When was it? When you were 10? 9? How'd you define those words?
Oh, yeah, I think so. 10
Yeah.
or 9.
Yeah, because you were the youngest.
Yeah.
So he hits me with the word intrigued. What? You know I'm just not going to just let you stop there. What do you mean, intrigued?
Or mind-blowing, I guess.
No. You can have both, but you specifically said intrigued. Tell me more.
It's just a different way to look at things, like the moat and the drawbridge. Basically everything. Yeah.
If only I could get that on video, the way you just did that. That was brilliant. So what do you mean by mind-blowing now?
It's just more different ways to look at things.
Yeah.
It's like there's an infinite amount of things to look at things.
Yes. And that's why I say we are truly limitless. And with that great power comes great responsibility. You know, we owe it to ourselves and our families and everybody around us to just show up the best way we can every single day. And that's all I want you to do. So now you have choice again. And when you need permission to have space to think, just say, hey, Pops, I need permission for space to think. And that'll let me know that you're really thinking about something, you know. And these are the kind of tools that we have to create with your generation, because a lot of them can't figure you out. And there's a huge disconnect in society today. So we're doing a real justice to society just for giving them stuff like this every once in a while for free. But you got to buy our shit. So this is on our $97 tier for the Edge. Yeah. See? Just as I'm starting to ask y'all to buy my shit, the universe kicks in and tries to block it. How many times that's happened to you? Like, literally, you just watched what happened, right, son?
Yeah.
What happened?
You were advertising, and the universe said no.
Right! And how did it do it?
By setting off an alarm.
Right. See? All of these small things. So this is where a lot of my people get it mistaken, and it gets weird, because some of these savvy marketers know that the universe will create all kinds of noise. But what I'm showing you right now is how to have a real conversation with your family members, still give you value, still give the world value. Just went over some sales and marketing training, because if you're communicating like this, you don't need to close anybody. Do you ever feel like I'm trying to sell you?
No.
Right. But your sisters do, because they had to learn the other way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So
now you have a choice. Now you can either do it their way or you can do it this way. But this way doesn't even really exist even in those other worlds. I had to create something that was going to be safe for people. You've always felt safe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to make sure that it really is. This is how you define a real safe space for people. And that's what Daddy's doing right now for the 8 billion people in the world right now. You know, so legitimately, people will forget to ask, because the way that the game is played is we need money. So I know that this is high value for $97 a month. I think we can do this, because you're getting access pretty much to me in like real time on a higher level with some deeper knowledge that I want you to pay for, because you're going to own it. So yeah, it's $97 for this one. And this one right here is free. Every once in a while, we'll just do something for free, because we know that's just how we should do it. We have to give back, because we've been blessed to be able to play like this. Because you've watched how your other siblings are, right?
Yeah.
And you said that you missed some of them, right?
Yeah.
So talk about that. It's okay.
Well, Steven leaving from the military when I was young was definitely a big impact, since I didn't have a big brother to, look out for and look up to. And then him moving out was impactful as well, since I couldn't even see him.
Yeah.
Since I can't drive yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Exactly. And what do you want your first car to be?
A Corvette.
Do you think you're going to get it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is my son, absolutely. And why do you know absolutely? Let's talk about your sister Lena, and we'll come back to Steven here in a second. So what did I do with Lena?
You gave her her G-Wagon key when she was 16, right?
Right. When she was 16, I gave her a G-Wagon key. And where do we have dinner?
City Club, right?
Yep, City Club of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So we were in downtown L.A. For her 16th birthday. I gave her a Mercedes G-Wagon key. And when did she get her G-Wagon?
When she was 18.
When she was 18! She had already written over $1 million worth of business and bought her own G-Wagon and then got bored with it, tried to refinance it. Do you remember? Did you hear that story?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. I'll let Mom tell that story. But legit, just like, it was just, it's like, I'll just stroke a check for it. Like, I don't even want to deal with this. What? So he knows for a fact that he can get a Corvette. He said absolutely. He doesn't even question it. Can you get your kids to believe this? Do you believe this? That's why I'm letting it come out of his mouth, not mine. Because this is my son, and he's the youngest one we've got around here. So he's watched all of his siblings go in different directions. And you're never going to get it right with your first one. And I know because I'm the first one. But we still got to wrap our arms around them too, because they have the capabilities that we want them to play in, but they have their own beliefs as a result of how society has treated them. Nobody has this kind of information. Tell me, look, y'all, and I'm serious, hit the reply button. Let me know who else is speaking like this, because I need to talk to them. Because I don't know nobody right now who's speaking like this to their kids. Do you, son?
No.
So, we still wrap our arms around everybody in our family, and we wrap our arms around those friends that we've lost as well along the way. But keep in mind, everybody, just like me and Joey did in front of 8 billion people, we can just pick right back up and just keep it going, because there was no pride and ego when me and him collided worlds. So, and now, I talked to Joey yesterday with the team, and we're going to do some dope shit together. And this is the first thing that I'm going to give him. My son just learned how to play chess, and already he's bored. I'm like, what? And Joey's background is incredible, so go check Joey out. And we're ready to play. We're ready to change the world. So you got to buy Joey shit. You got to buy my shit. You got to support us. Like, that's how we play. And then the special bonuses and announcements I'll make. And then we'll have our password code. You know what I'm saying? But my son needs to know this stuff early. A lot of y'all know that I'm in the advertising lane. I'm going to show you what those kind of conversations should look like and should sound like. And even if they're wrong, oh well, I'm the pioneer. I win. Ta-da! First to market, screw you. So let's just have fun with it. My son has watched all of this stuff. What's the first car AJ bought?
It was a Hyundai, right?
No, that's what we got for her. Was the one that she bought.
Oh, BMW.
No, that's the second one.
Oh, great.
Right. The first one was the S550.
Was it?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, see, you're too young. See, I have to remember too, but this is how brilliant he remembered the BMW, for crying out loud. And how old was she when she bought that?
I'm not sure. I was in like second grade.
Okay.
When she got it.
I'm just trying to check because I remember stuff when I was an embryo, so you got to catch up. I'm just giving you a hard time.
What did your mom feed you?
I don't know. We have to ask her.
Cheeseburger?
Right.
Pickles?
Pickles.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You said you remember?
Yeah. But legit though. So like, he remembers the BMW. That's why he has no problem. His sister bought a G-Wagon. And like, this is all their certainty just coming from how I play. And how my clients know that I play with them. These are the kind of conversations I like to have. They're very healthy. But yes, at some point in time, you have to pay and swipe a card, and then you understand all this crap that you guys call copywriting and marketing and sales. It's like, who cares? Can you have a real conversation? That's why I can have one with my son, and we can record this, and he's cool with it because he knows that this benefits everybody around him, and he is not corrupted. So who in your family is not corrupt? Like, I'm not saying in like a negative way. I'm just saying like as if a computer program. That's what I'm talking about in that context, because people will always take shit out of context. That's the power of words. And I know I can do that with my son. And he's the youngest one. That means that I got it right. Because in this case, you should be right. Because now he's just flowing along with me. He understands what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to be weird. I mean, what if even just 5 years from now, we got all sales, marketing, copywriting, all this other crap that y'all call it. What if we got all that fixed so that it's all outdated? I think I just created a self-liquidating offer. I think I just did. Because if you can have a real-ass conversation with somebody, then you don't need all this other shit. You just need to swipe cards. It's like, yo, I need your help. This program's 15 racks. Let's go. And you watch my friends play like that, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's pretty cool.
How so?
That they can just throw out some money and do something. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just throw out money and we do something. Do you see how simple he just said that? That doesn't scare you, does it?
No.
Yeah. You've watched me get screwed over before, right?
Yeah.
And what happens? I lose my damn mind, right?
Yeah.
He said to say the least. He's watched me go ape shit. Because it's like, it's not necessary. It's like if you can have a real conversation, if you can do this at home, then you should be able to do this with society. All of this stuff starts at home. However you define home. We just happen to have a very traditional Asian, like, infused Western blend because they insist on having Western culture in here. So, I get it from all ends. And then I rock with Koreans forever. And that's a dope-ass culture. So it's like, I just think differently. And the way that I think with my son is he doesn't judge me. He understands that I play in a lot of different lanes. And that's the reasons why I can communicate with a lot of people. So what if I can train you to do this? Do you think that we would need to have, like, what you guys call copywriters? No. You just need to be able to learn how to communicate. So that's why jumping on this Edge newsletter's $97 a month thing is where it should be for you right now. Do you think we're helping people?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you one more question before we hang up. What do you want?
I want to help the world.
Why is that important to you?
Because I think that all this cancel culture is dumb and people aren't thinking the correct way. Or at least aren't using their brains the correct way.
And what are you basing this off of?
Off of our different conversations that we have. Our many conversations that we have.
And you had a chance to experience it without me, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Without having you in my life? People don't think through things before they actually go and do it. They just go do it without thinking and screw up everything.
Wow. And you see people get hurt as a result of that, which is why you want to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I honor you, son, for just being how you are. I love you so much, and just thank you for showing up how you do.
No problem.
So we're going to have another bromance moment. Love you guys. We'll chat soon. Peace.